How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. We're going to be doing NFL Power Rankings for week number 12. And before I start this video, I'm just going to let you know that there's probably going to be some teams on here that are teams that aren't on the list that you feel like should be on here. That's totally valid. These are just my opinions, and there are a lot, and I mean a lot of good teams this year, so we'll hop right into it. All right, starting at number 10, we have the Jacksonville Jaguars. And the reason I have the Jags there is they blew out the Chargers, and their defense looked really good. And they've won 2 out of their last 3, and they've been looking really good so far. I mean, they kind of choked last week against the Texans, but they more than got back on track with the win against the Chargers. And this is all without Brian Thomas Jr. in the game or without Travis Hunter, who's going to be out for the rest of the season. And this team, I mean, they're doing pretty well right now. I mean, they're sitting at 10, and I'm not completely sure if they're in the playoffs. I think they're at number 7. I think they're the 7th seed right now. So good on the Jags. They're sitting at number 10 after a huge win. All right, sitting at number 9, we have the San Francisco 49ers making their first appearance, as well as the Jags on these lists since I started them. And I got them at 9 because, well, they blew out the Cardinals last week. Their offense looked unstoppable. I mean, Brock Purdy, I think this was his first game back in a while, and he shut everyone up who said that Mac Jones was better than him. I think he proved that he is still the guy in San Francisco because, I mean, it was admittedly up in the air for a minute because Mac Jones was doing similar to what Brock Purdy did. And, yeah, good for the 49ers. Their defense is a little concerning because they did let the Cardinals score a lot more points, or a lot of points considering, how much they want. How much the 49ers scored, they let the Cardinals score a lot too. Jacoby Brissett was able to air it out a lot against them, but, I mean, the game was never in question. The 49ers basically still had control this entire game, and we'll see how they play on Monday Night Football against the Carolina Panthers, who are also looking a lot better and could be on this list. And, yeah, they're at number 9, and we'll see how they progress through the rest of the season. All right, sitting at number 8, we have the Chicago Bears, and they're moving up 2 spots from last time. They were at number 10 last time. They're going from 10 to 8, and I moved them up because they were able to squeak out a win against the Vikings in a game that was probably a little closer than it should have been, to be completely honest, just because the Vikings, they were not playing good at all. The Bears defense was dominating them. And then for the last 3 minutes, they kind of let the Vikings do whatever they wanted, leading them to be down by a point. But then they had a big return, and Caleb Williams got the Bears back in a field goal range, and they're able to win the game anyway. So good for the Bears for that, and definitely something you want to clean up in the future. But the good news is you got the win, and I mean, you can get the win. That's all that matters at the end of the day. And if you're a Bears fan, these are the kind of wins you've been waiting for. I mean, a lot of coaches that you've had on your team have been terrible coaches, but Ben Johnson, he's a great head coach, and he's a big reason why the Bears sit at number 8. All right, sitting at number 7, we have the Seattle Seahawks, who are actually moving down 6 spots. And they had a rough week last week. They lost to the Rams, and Sam Darnold had 4 interceptions, and, the Seahawks were probably getting flashbacks to how Sam Darnold played at the end of last season, because the last 2 games of last season were very ugly for him, and, we'll have to see if he can rebound. I personally think he will. And I mean, I know this seems like a bit of an overreaction because usually I don't drop teams this much for losing 1 game. But honestly, it has more to do with how the league is going. I don't think the Seahawks are that bad. I think they're going to be fine in the long run. I think their defense is phenomenal. The fact that it was still even a game to begin with, because they only lost by 2 and they had a chance to win with a 61-yarder, but they ended up missing. But the fact that they're still making it close, I still think they're a really good team. All right, sitting at number 6, we have the Buffalo Bills. The Bills are moving up 3 spots from number 9. They had a really good bounce back win against the Bucs this week. And Josh Allen, he was Josh Allen. He had 6 total touchdowns, and it looked a little shaky at the start of the game because the Bucs run defense, or the Bills run defense, was not good in this game. And Sean Tucker had a really good game against them. But, it didn't matter. The Bills were able to outscore their opponent, the Bucs, and that's no easy task. The Bucs, they're injured, but they still have a really good offense. Baker Mayfield's still a really damn good quarterback. And, to be able to outscore him is pretty good considering that they lost to the Dolphins last week the way that they did. So good for the Bills to get back on track with a win, and we'll see if they can maybe catch the Patriots and steal the division back. All right, number 5, we have the Philadelphia Eagles. They're moving up 2 spots. They were at 7 last time, putting them at 5 because they're able to beat the Lions in a very defensive game. And, they were able to really shut down the Lions offense. And the Lions offense is arguably one of the best offenses in the NFL. And to be able to shut them down and only allow 9 points to them is actually insane. I think that Jalen Phillips signing for the Eagles was a very good signing for Howie Roseman. He's usually really good about his signings, hence the Saquon signing last year, the Zach Bond signing last year. He knows what he's doing, and that signing kind of proves it. And their defense has just been on another level ever since he started playing for them. And admittedly, the offense is definitely not playing at its best right now, but, honestly, they really don't need to. And I think eventually they will figure it out just because I trust the Eagles. They won the Super Bowl last year for a reason. They will eventually figure out their offensive woes and start being more exciting. But yeah, they're still winning games, and that's all that matters at the end of the day, and they're at number 5. All right, at number 4, we have the Indianapolis Colts. And I'm moving them down 1, and they didn't really do anything. They had a bye week, which, they didn't lose, but they didn't win. And when you don't win each week and you're in a conference like the AFC this year, even if you have no control over it, it can kind of knock you down by default. But, the Colts, they're still a good team. There's not much to say about them. They just got really unfortunate luck with the Broncos winning, the Patriots winning, the Jags winning. I don't think the Jags are going to catch them, but, it's still not great that they're catching up to them on their bye week. And we'll see how the Colts play when they play next, because it's kind of hard to talk about them when they're, not playing, but they definitely still deserve to be on the list. They're still a really damn good team, arguably one of the best teams in the NFL, hence they're super high up. And we'll see how they play next week against the Kansas City Chiefs, which will be a really big test for them. All right, sitting at number 3, we have the Los Angeles Rams. They're going up 1, and they would honestly probably be higher, but it's just the teams in front of them I think are better, and they have a better record too. But the Rams, they were able to shut down the Seattle Seahawks offense, which has been playing really well lately. So good on the Rams defense for forcing 4 interceptions. And I will say the offense definitely didn't do its part this week as much as I would have liked them to. But, a win's a win, and you beat your division rival. And that's one of the best things you can do in the NFL is beat your division rival that was in front of you because of the tiebreaker. And as of right now, the Rams are tied with the Eagles for the best record in the NFC, and we'll see how much better they can play. They play the Bucs on Sunday Night Football. I think that'll be a pretty good game. Rams probably should win that game. And the Rams, whether it's their offense, whether it's their defense, they find ways to win. It's mostly been their offense, but this week it was their defense, and it just shows that they're able to win the game on both sides of the ball. It'd be better if they could put it all together, but, they won, and I think eventually they will put it together. All right, sitting at number 2, you got the Denver Broncos. They're moving up 4 spots this week, and for good reason. They beat the Kansas City Chiefs, a team that they're not in the power rankings, but they're still a really good team. They're 5-5 right now after they lost to the Broncos, but they were giving it their all in that game. Like, that was one of those games where the Chiefs could not afford to lose, so you knew they were going to give you everything. And the Broncos were still able to beat them. And it was a really good win to watch. The offense for the Broncos has definitely been a concern for the past few weeks, but the defense definitely has never been a concern. I mean, they're able to hold the Chiefs to 19 points, and I mean, the Chiefs haven't been that great this year, but they're still the Chiefs, and being able to hold them to 19 points is usually going to be good enough to win a game, especially when you're at home. And it was, as we were able to win 22-19, so congratulations to the Broncos for beating the Chiefs, and that was a huge win for them, and it's their 8th win in a row. And people can say what they want about Bo Nix, but, he's still winning games. And, I mean, that's all I can ask him to do as a Broncos fan. So, yeah, Broncos are sitting at 2, and, I can't be happier. And finally, at number 1, we have the New England Patriots. They were at 2 last week, putting them up to 1 after they were able to beat the Jets on Thursday Night Football. And this was a toss-up between the Patriots and the Broncos, because the Broncos had a way bigger victory, but at the same time, the Patriots, I feel like they've played more consistently. And obviously, the Jets are not the Chiefs, so the Patriots beating them is not as impressive as the Broncos beating the Chiefs. But, I gotta say, with the Patriots, they've just been playing really consistently good football. And I can't really say that for the Broncos, but the Patriots, Drake May's been rolling. And their defense, it's not as good as the Broncos, but, I mean, it's okay because their offense is more consistent. It's a great win to beat the Jets and move to 9-2, and they're tied for the best record in the NFL with the Denver Broncos. And we'll see how they play. They have a very easy schedule coming up, and I mean, they could honestly be 15-2. I don't think they'll be 15-2, but you never know. And yeah, Patriots are the best team in the NFL right now. And just we'll recap here. We got Patriots at 1, Broncos 2, Rams 3, Colts 4, 5, Eagles, Bills 6, Seahawks 7, Bears 8, 49ers 9, Jaguars 10. And yes, I will acknowledge it. I acknowledged it earlier, but I kind of have to say it again. I mean, there's a lot of teams that I feel like could be on here. The Panthers could be on here. The Steelers could be on here. I mean, there's just a lot of teams. I mean, there might be one I didn't mention. I was gonna put the Packers on here, but I figured the Jags had a better win against a better team, and that was the reason why I couldn't put the Packers. I mean, the Lions, they lost, so I couldn't put them, despite them being a really good team. It's just tricky doing these rankings, just because you never truly know. Because anything can change, and we'll see how this ages for week 12, and I'll get back to you for week 13 for my next power rankings, and for that, I'll have my week 12 NFL predictions out tomorrow, so I'll see you then, and if you're still watching, I appreciate you, and peace out.